In these uncertain economic times, it's easy to be worried about protecting your wealth, your hard-earned savings, and your family's financial future. Plunging interest rates, the devaluating dollar, and political unrest constantly threaten what you have worked hard to earn and all that you own. That's why now it's more important than ever to protect your assets and have the money you need to make your dreams come true. Welcome to the Global Wealth Fortress Report with successful global entrepreneur and wealth preservation expert Joel Nagel. Joel's helped thousands of people just like you protect what you have so that you can make even more and make your every dream come true. So, sit back and enjoy Joel Nagel's offshore expert advice on how you can live the good life at a great price, where the sun never sets on your financial fortress.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Global Wealth Fortress Report. I'm Joel Nagel. I'm joined today by Mikkel Thorup, who is the publisher of Escape Artist and the Escape Artist Insider magazine. Mikkel, thanks so much for joining me today.
My pleasure, Joel. I'm really excited to talk to you and maybe inspire and give you your audience a few new ideas.
Great. We for the last couple of weeks we've been talking a lot with people I've been interviewing about my upcoming President's Week conference. Well, now we're here, and so we got a lot of great people, including you, and you flew up from Panama. Tell us, for starters, how are things there?
Well, Panama, we had pretty strict lockdowns for the last few months, but everything's opened up, which is very nice. It's very nice to be able to take my daughter to the park again and go for walks and enjoy the fresh air. But Panama is fully open, and it's a beautiful country. We've been there for about 18 months, and life is nice, yeah.
And you just flew up, I think you went, Panama through Miami?
Correct. So it was about 3.5 hours to Miami, which was easy peasy, middle of the day, and then about 5 hours to Vegas, and yeah.
Here you are. Well, yeah. We're really happy you're here. Now, for the event, you talk about a lot of things. You talk about lifestyle issues, and you've lived all over the world. I believe for the conference itself, you're talking about something kind of new and different. Why don't you share that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So straight off the bat, I've been an expat for just over 20 years now. I've lived in 8 different countries. I've visited more than 100 countries. And during that time, I actually spent a large portion of it in the South Pacific. So I lived in New Zealand for 1 year. I lived in Australia for 3 years. I traveled to Tonga and Fiji. I was in Fiji 5 times, and I went to Vanuatu. So I'm going to be talking this week about some of those experiences, the visas that I went through, because I think I went through about 4 or 5 different types of visas while I was there, and then kind of an update on the programs that are being done right now. So one of the big ones that we'll be discussing is the Vanuatu Citizenship by Investment. And it's a really exciting program. They're really trying to mirror what's going on in the Caribbean, and it's kind of an alternative to those. The price points are very similar, but yeah, it's quite a strong passport that gives you Schengen visa-free travel to the Schengen area, as well as Russia and the UK, and lots of great places like that. So it should be really exciting.
Now, you know, when I think back to speaking at conference over the last 20 years, second residency and second citizenship was always sort of the one thing that the squirrely guy in the back of the room wanted to talk about, but nobody else did. That's changed a lot in the last 20 years, and you know, progressively 10 years ago became more mainstream, and I think in the last year it's just skyrocketed. Why do you think that is?
Well, okay, and first of all, I agree with you, because even look at this conference. We have an entire day devoted to residency and citizenship. I think that these things are becoming more important because people understand that they don't need to just protect their wealth, they actually need to protect themselves as well. And having a backup travel document is really important. You know, and even if you decide that a passport is not necessary, having a safe location, a residency where you can go to if things get worse in your home country, I think that's just wise, you know. I think that I've been speaking about these things as well as you have for many, many years. People didn't really understand before, but now I think people are just kind of nodding their heads. They understand how necessary it is.
And you mentioned Vanuatu, but give us a quick overview of the ones. What are people most interested in these days? Which jurisdictions are you seeing over and over? What's sort of risen to the top in terms of demand, would you say?
Okay, well, we see a lot of interest in Panama. Panama has the Friendly Nations visa. It's a reasonably priced residency. Now, going on to citizenship is probably not the greatest option for that one. It does take quite a longer period of time, but we also see a lot of people interested in Portugal. A lot of people are really interested in getting an EU passport, so we've seen that. I mean, you work a lot with Belize. I'm sure that you've seen Belize has been a really big hit lately. There's some really new exciting things coming out with Belize. And I'd say those are some of the more popular ones. I'd say Vanuatu is probably not as popular, but I think that there are some really good arguments for it as a citizenship by investment, and that's why I want to kind of bring something new to the table for this year's President's Week.
Great, and we really do appreciate that. You are, as I mentioned, in charge of Escape Artist and Escape Artist Insider magazine. Talk a little bit about those and maybe why somebody would want to subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. So first off the bat, I'm the director at Escape Artist. We put out a ton of free content. But what ends up happening is the content goes on the website and people can search for it. It gets SEO, it goes on Google and people can find it. But what happens sometimes is you don't get the stuff that's like right now today, that really cutting edge stuff. So with me and my business partners, we put our heads together and we tried to find something or think of something where we could make sure we get the most cutting edge research to people's hands every single month. And what we came up with was Escape Artist Insiders magazine. It's a fully digital magazine. We've been running it for about a half a year now, and the response has been unbelievable. We do about 12 or 13 original articles every single month. I'm fortunate enough to have you doing a legal column for us. And we talk about everything in the offshore market. So we talk about residencies, citizenship, passports, banking, offshore incorporation, taxes. And it's really meant to be the continual education for people. So that ongoing thing that's going to be able to help them. Because the truth is that laws change, jurisdictions change. What was appropriate or applicable 6 months ago might not be what it is today. So when you subscribe to Insiders Magazine, you're always going to get the most cutting edge research.
And I think one of the things that I hear from people all the time, yes, you can go on the internet, yes, there's lots of free information. Sometimes there's too much information, sometimes it's conflicting, sometimes people are putting out things that are self-serving to them, which may or may not be completely true. So, I see Escape Artist Insider as really being the, definitive and authoritarian truth of what's happening on a month-by-month basis. So yeah, I'm very happy to be involved with you writing the one of the legal columns. So I think we're about out of time, but if somebody's interested specifically in Escape Artist or Escape Artist Insider, tell them how they can find you, how they can subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to escapeartist.com, you'll see a ton of amazing resources on there. And if you'd like to subscribe to the magazine, all you need to do is go to escapeartist.store. You'll see it on the very first page there. And yeah, I highly encourage you to subscribe. It's an amazing magazine. It's interesting too because all the articles are not written by necessarily professional writers. They're actually written by the people who have their boots on the ground. So they're done by the lawyers, by the accountants, by the service providers. And then the information that you're going, that it's 100% true. This is not just someone doing it in their basement making things up. This is not armchair travel. These are the people who are doing the real work. So I'm really excited about it, and the response has been amazing.
Great. Well, thanks. I hope our viewers will take advantage and look at what you have, both the free and the subscription-based materials. I know that you won't be disappointed. I know a lot of my clients have been signing up for the magazines, and I've had a lot of really good reports about all the work you're doing, Mikkel. So
Perfect.
Keep up the good work. Be the voice of the offshore world, keep letting people know what they can do. And thanks again for joining us here today on the Global Wealth Fortress Report. That's it for today. We're about out of time. I want to thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Until then, I wish you health, I wish you happiness, and I wish you a wealth that can't be attacked or taken by others. See you next time. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining Joel Nagel and the Global Wealth Fortress Report, a whole new approach to asset protection and estate planning, so that now you can live the good life at a great price, where the sun never sets on your financial fortress.